now we move on to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. From my understanding is Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is coming to this country, and he is the mastermind behind 9/11, and he's finally going to be brought to justice. Now, that's a good thing, I would imagine, but apparently not. Conservatives are very, very angry that he's being brought to justice. They think this is an outrage. I almost can't quite believe it, but it's true. Let's start with Liz Cheney. She's at it again, and of course on Fox News Channel, and she is livid about actually bringing terrorists to justice. Clip number 5.
What do you worry about most? The security threat to New York, the possible danger that intelligence secrets will be disclosed, the possibility one of these guys will get off, or something else? What's your biggest concern?
I think it is absolutely unconscionable that we are a nation at war and that the President of the United States simultaneously is denying our troops on the ground in Afghanistan the resources that they need to prevail to win that war, while he ushers terrorists onto the homeland. Yeah. He's going to put these terrorists into a courthouse that is 6 blocks from where over 2,000 Americans were killed on the worst attack in history on the American homeland. He's going to give them a public platform where they can spew venom, where they can preach jihad, where they can reach out and recruit other terrorists. And it is totally unnecessary. When the Attorney General says that he's bringing them to justice, he's ignoring the fact that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed asked 11 months ago to be executed for Allah. He asked to plead guilty and be executed. We should have said, all right, you've got it. Instead, we're bringing him and his cohorts to America. We're giving them the constitutional rights of American citizens. And the Attorney General throughout the day on Friday talked about this as a crime. He said in that same interview Maura is talking about that this will be treated like any other crime.
But what about...
There's no question but that the Obama administration now has, in a completely indefensible way, taken us back to a pre-9/11 treatment of terrorism.
Yeah. It was indefensible, you know, the treatment of terrorists earlier. Like, for example, the World Trade Center bombing in 1993. We only caught all of those guys and tried them, and they're serving life sentences in maximum security prison in Colorado. Indefensible. How we got all of them, and we brought all of them to justice. How dare we? Treating this like a crime. The worst murder in American history. That's not a crime. No, it's not. What is it? Oh, it's an act of war. So what should we do? Should we just leave them on Guantanamo, get all the troops out, and just drop a bomb on them and kill them all after we've captured them? First of all, that's against the rules of war. You can't do that in a war either. I keep going back to what the hell do you want us to do with them? I mean, just go out there and execute them? Shoot them in the head? Right? Well, that brings us to Bill O'Reilly. I'm going to go to clip number 8 here. He's on Glenn Beck's radio program, and he answers the question I've been asking this whole time. What do we do with them if we don't bring them to trial, which is what we do in America? That's what we have the justice system for. Well, here's O'Reilly's answer.
Why do you suppose the president is... why are we going to have a trial of killers, of terrorists, here in New York?
Well, from what I can put together here, it's totally insane. I mean, this guy has already admitted it. So why are we bothering putting him on trial?
Yeah,
he's admitted it.
Yeah, very American of you.
When you commit a terrorist act or a crime, and they're two different distinctive things, the guy's admitted it, so he shouldn't be going on trial anyway. He should just be shot. You know, I don't even believe in capital punishment, but that's what the military tribunal would do. And these pinheads that want the trial in New York, I think there are two reasons. The ACLU crew, which is pushing it, and Holder, the Attorney General, they want to put the Bush administration on trial, waterboarding on trial, the CIA on trial. That's what they want to do. They want to humiliate all of the war on terror, Bush-Cheney axis. That's their goal, okay? And that will happen. Obama himself is basically, in my opinion, is Pontius Pilate here. It's Pontius Pilate in Latin, but we say Pontius Pilate here in America. All he does on these things...
Do they say Pontius Pilate in Latin America?
He's not the architect of them. He just stands back and washes his hands of it.
No, you're wrong.
See, I don't believe he's the architect.
Oh, I do.
See, I think Rahm Emanuel is the architect.
All right, well, Billow's got a suggestion there at least. He's being constructive. He says, they already admitted it. What do you need a trial for? Bill, that's a great point. He said it's true in case of terrorism and in cases of crime. So in case you committed a crime here, and the cops or the military or whoever's in charge say that you admitted it, well, then what do you need a trial for? We just take you out in the back and we shoot you in the head. I mean, that's the American way, right? You heard it with your own ears. That's literally the argument they're making. Well, if you already admitted it, and we don't need a trial. The cops or the military told us you admitted it. So we just shoot you in the head. I'm repeating it because I can't believe he said that. I don't know why I can't believe it, given all the things I've listened to from O'Reilly and Beck. But these people are 100% un-American. They don't understand the concept of America at all. If you let them, they would run dictatorships. And they'd say, oh, yeah, that guy disagreed with me, and that guy admitted something. He confessed. Yeah, trust me, he confessed. That's why I shot him in the head. That's the system they believe in, right? And they think that trying to bring Khalid Sheikh Mohammed to justice is actually a secret plot to embarrass the CIA. I hope the CIA was instrumental in catching him. That's not embarrassing him. That's their greatest accomplishment. Oh, no, they're going to put torture on trial. No, they're not. They're going to try their best to avoid the topic of torture because that winds up helping the guy's defense. And they're going to say they got all of his admissions, confessions, etc., after the torture issue had passed because the guy had, has admitted it before in open court and presumably will admit it again in open court. And besides, we have his statements from earlier. They're going to try him like we do in America. If you agree with those guys, you've missed the whole point of the country. You're as un-American in your ideas as you can possibly be. And then Liz Cheney, they're going to bring them to 6 blocks, within 6 blocks of where it happened. Yeah, because that's where the crime occurred. That's what we do in this country. If you commit a crime in Nebraska, we don't bring you to Rhode Island. We bring you to Nebraska to try you there. Fools, charlatans, and un-American. That's what they are. Young Turks.
Have you seen all the TYT videos from today? Check out the Young Turks YouTube channel. Do it already.